today's stop loss cluster video for the 24th of March 2021 for the AUDJPY service. We have a bullish triangle actually, even though the sentiment is actually a sell. Auto charters is indicating we've got a bullish structure, but I think the sentiment could actually play out. I think if we draw some diagonals here, so this we've got a very key level. We're bang on it right now. 1730, so keep an eye on 1730. The lines cross at that level. The quality is quite strong, and so if it does break above, it says that there's a resistance up here, 1741. So it's worth bearing in mind. And try and get the auto chartist. It's a really good little addition there. You can go to all sorts of things like the euro-yen, which I have a small position on, as you'd know, on the short side. I had a good entry, so quite happy. And it's saying at this level here, 128.84 is going to be key. So that could be your stop loss. If you entered up higher up, then you can get out there. It's just a great idea just to get some confluence with the sentiment, because this is all technical, and if you marry it with sentiment, then you'll do quite well. We'll look at gold. See, we're actually RSL, looking at the sentiment at the high level, and at the low level, the dynamic, we had to squish that, so you can see the SLC below. It's quite far, 1694, and one above is 1736, but the dynamic, it's a little bit sideways, to be honest. If it comes up on the sentiment, we can fall. And if sentiment points down, then we can go up. But it looks like it's pretty sideways, so maybe this, maybe that's going to play out, the gold bullish triangle. But if it does break out, then we've got some resistance ahead. So we're definitely at a key level right now. But yeah, let's look at S&P, and then we'll do the normal pairs. So your level of interest here was your resistance up here, 3961. 3931, so it's dead easy to remember, 30 points between, and the one below is going to be a support. It's a 7th of February support, 3912 and 3910, and if that breaks, then we'll come down to 3892, and obviously if that breaks, we'll come down to here. But there's a strong point of control here, so I would expect to see some buying activity here, and this was a good short entry. But bearing in mind that the retail sentiment is very much risk on, the retail guys are starting to go buying the dips, so it could be a little bit of a warning if they continue to do so. We'll have to see what happens next week. If they continue to do it every day, it's going to be quite bearish, because there isn't really any impetus to push price higher in order to take their stops, because if they're going long, their stops are below, and so they might want to push price down just to take their stops, and then we can rally if the whole thing is a stop hunt, which I believe it could be. So definitely keep an eye on this, 3961, 3931, and it's good, potentially good risk to reward, but you would be going against the sentiment if you were to sell, because the big picture is risk on, and the VIX is below 20 as well, and that's important if you're trading the S&P. AJ, and we are 82.99. Well, actually 83, and this is 82, pretty much 82. Yeah, and we are a sell here, very sideways, but the signal's saying to buy. So there's a mismatch there currently in this moment in time. AU. This is one of our signals, which is going quite well. We want to keep an eye on these SLCs. So 76.29, 75.80. We're a sell, and the signal said to wait, but we're below monthly pivot, don't forget as well. So that's like a technical bias. EA, I've got not a signal, I've got a trade that's actually short this. So I need it to fall a little bit. The SLC is a monthly pivot above, which is interesting. 156.16 and 155 on the dot, and it's the larger of the two. So I'm probably going to exit here because we've got some support which coincides with the SLC. So this could be a good exit for you if you're short this one. 155 on the dot, and it's a psychological round number as well. We're sell. Wait. EU. So 118.49 and 118.10. Sell, sell, and don't forget my post on the discussion group. My FX book clients, they added 20,000 lots long, not positions but lots. So we're talking in volume, huge long volume, long. And since they're normally wrong in speech marks, then that's contrarian indication for bearishness. So I should expect this to fall because 20,000 lots is a huge, humongous amount. Your MS2 is here, which looks likely, like I said yesterday, at 117.97. So we're close. We're 20 pips away, and because we hit MS1, we have to hit MS2. Below MS2, we'll hit MS3. It could be a little bit overdone beyond that, so keep an eye on 116.45. So these 20,000 lots long, they're going to have probably wide stops. So they could have it. We could have 100 pip stops. You don't know. The average retailer is quite risk adverse with their risk management. So if their stops are down here, then we can definitely target lower. And that's them guys going long, which I just said just now. There's 20,000 lots. So it's quite bearish. GU. Now this is probably going to fall if the Euro USD falls because the Dixie is composed of the Euro heavily, and if the Dixie gets a firm footing, then all the dollar pairs will they'll suffer. So it's always worth watching the Euro USD for USD pairs, obviously. This is falling, and I think we could be getting SLC below at 136.68. One above is 137.35, and like I said a few days ago, we'd actually crossed over to sell, so hopefully you took note of that. And it did cross. Where did we cross? Around about here. No, here. So that happened, 19th. So that would have been just before the weekend, 5 days ago. Yeah, so this is like Friday's activity. We crossed over the 50% line, and when that happened, then it becomes a sell. As we see, this move is probably a little bit of a lure to get them involved, to make them go long, and that's what that little spike there was, possibly to get them to go long at that point. It's 52 pip move. So yeah, this was the trap, I think, for cable, and we're below monthly pivot too. Signal center weight, moving average trends very bearish, descending resistance line, sell. NU. This was a signal of ours, but it hit 80%, and since we avoid the oversold, overbought conditions on the sentiment, we exited. Because obviously, if we look at my FX book, 85%. So these guys are in for a squeeze, and because they're in for a squeeze, we could see a reversal because there isn't any more stops to take out, and this is why we get out at 80%, and this is why we get out at 20%. So we avoid the extremes. It could be a potential quick squeeze scenario. Let's just see above is larger, 0.7. Not 0.6949, 7 guys going along in a big way. My FX book, wow, that's ridiculous. There. So it's definitely worth noting the FX SSI indicators, and use the QuasiDB code and you get a 70% discount. So it's definitely useful. Remember to keep an eye on your 50% line, and that's really important. Euro yen. We are sell. The signal center buys. There's a mismatch. So that's with like the Aussie yen. That was a mismatch. SLC 129.94 and 128.24, and it's them guys going long. So really, We should be falling really, but there's your monthly pivot there. So we're technically a buy above monthly pivot. So bit 50-50 to be honest with you. Pound yen. There's a break of the descending resistance line and now support. We are a buy. We have been for ages. We are a buy on the technical. The SLC above is 151. SLC below 14841. Dollar yen. And this could be helping the other yen pairs too. Signal saying to buy and the sentiment saying to buy. So this is that move. You know, they get the two to agree. SLC above 109.40, 108.30. So it's easy to remember. 109.4, 108.3. Dollar CAD. 126.10. 125.39. The signal saying to sell and the sentiment saying to sell. So yeah, have to be a bit careful. This is one of our signals, I believe. I will have to check. It would have been a buy because it might have negated last night. I'll need to check. I'll do the signal overview after this video, and we see where we stand. I know cable and AU are short signals, but I think this might be a long signal. So I'll double check on that. Dollar Swiss, one above, is large of the two. And this is the largest stop loss cluster. 93.75, 93.19 were a buy. Very mixed on the sentiment. It's the complete opposites, IG and my textbook. They couldn't be more opposite. Yeah, wait and buy. So I don't really, that's just bizarre. I don't know if my textbook are going to lead the way or these guys are going to be right. It could be one to avoid if you're looking at the sentiment for this one. And we did cover gold, and moving average trend is bearish on all time frames. And I'm going to wait for the signal to turn to sell, but it's sideways on the sentiment on the dynamic, so there isn't any clear indication, and it's possible. Yeah, it could possibly just be going sideways. Because you know, if we cross below here, it's bearish. If we cross above, then we'll be bullish, but we've got resistance overhead. So it's only got $10 before it hits resistance, and then we fall. So keep an eye on this line. Keep an eye on this line. I'll wrap up now, and yeah, I'll do the signal overview now. And I need to go out again. I've got to do some food shopping, but I'll speak to you guys in a bit, and I hope you have a good day. I'll speak to you soon.